Hello, everyone, and welcome to another fun episode of Movie Bears Podcast TV. I'm Brad Harris, and as I'm sometimes want to do, I am podcasting with some really great guys, and I think you probably know them. You should. We're 42 episodes in at this point.
Wow.
I
We're meeting
know,
the
right?
life episode?
I know. And how fitting that we're talking about Game of Thrones on episode 42, right? Could it get any nerdier? That's okay. We embrace our inner nerd. That's who we are.
Definitely do.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you've heard from them already, but here they are officially. Casey Scott, welcome to the show.
Hello. Sorry, I was rubbing my eye. I'm sure that looked hot.
It depends on how you rub it.
Yeah.
Or why you're rubbing it.
True.
Oh, God.
Goodness.
Oh, just some pink eye. No, not really. That's the most unsexy reason to
Hey,
scratching your
pink eye.
It's the gayest reason to rub your eye. Yeah.
My goodness, Sally Draper. My goodness. All right. Well, Stephen Heslin is here with us as well. Welcome, Stephen.
Hello, everyone.
We already mentioned this, but we're talking about Game of Thrones this week. Huge episode. It's been a couple weeks, actually, since we caught up with the show, so I'm sure we're going to end up just talking about everything that's been going on. It is a Game of Thrones spectacular, everyone. It is our singular topic this time out. But join us next time. We're going to be talking about Orange is the New Black and True Detective, so that's coming down your way. But for now, guys, should we just freaking dive right into it? Are you guys...
Let's do it.
Yeah?
Yes, let's do it.
All right, here we go. Our discussion of the finale of HBO's Game of Thrones Season 5. Stephen, it's so funny when we leave the silent spaces for me to put music in later.
Yeah.
I see you moving your head along to the theme.
I had the 80s version of the theme song stuck in my head from one of those fan-made videos where they
I
have
haven't seen that.
version. Oh my god.
That sounds awesome.
I don't know. Is that the one where they made the credits look like a 90s
like Hercules or something? Yeah.
Good stuff. Well, okay. So much to talk about in this episode. Holy crap.
Yeah.
I will kick things off just in terms of a spoiler warning real quick. We're going to be spoiling any and everything up through, the final episode of Season 5 entitled Mother's Mercy. So if you've not yet, seen these episodes and you don't want to be spoiled, now's your chance to jump ship. Otherwise, we're just going to get into it. Casey, initial thoughts on this episode? Good, bad, ugly?
Well, first I would just say that I haven't even talked about this episode with anybody because I knew we were going to be talking about it, so I haven't talked about it with anybody, not on Facebook. I mean, I've had a few little posts with a few people here and there, but it hasn't really been that extensive.
I had to talk to somebody immediately. I ran around work finding. I'm like, have you seen it? Have you seen it? I need to talk to somebody.
Well, I had to finish. I wanted to finish Orange is the New Black first, and then watch it. So I didn't watch it live. So I wasn't on Facebook the entire time. I watched it at midnight, so it came on HBO Go, and I watched it my apartment was dark, and I was watching the thing, and I was like, oh god, now I can't go to sleep because I need to talk about this. I really liked it. I thought it went in a lot of really interesting directions. It leaves a ton of cliffhangers for some of our favorite characters, which is how really a good season finale should be, where it leaves you like, wait, what's happening? The most emotional thing for me, and the thing that I got into that was the only real discussion I had, was trying to talk some sense into some, borderline misogynist mindset people about the Cersei sequence. The most ultimate walk of shame ever. And it's the type of punishment that would only be effective if it's done to a woman on this show. And so the only thing I posted about this was, watched it and was like, okay, this does not do any favors to the show if it's trying to defend if it's trying to, defend or justify its treatment of women on the show.
Well, but wait a second. This same exact punishment a smaller scale, was done to the previous high septon.
Yeah.
For 5 seconds, and everyone laughed at him. It was not.
Wow.
It was not.
But
it
he
was
also
not,
wasn't
it was
as
not
high of a
shameful
position.
thing. Yeah, that too. But
Right.
someone else mentioned that too, and I was like, okay, yeah, that happened for 5 seconds. He didn't have to walk all the way down through the entire town to get back to the kingdom, and it was not a shameful thing in terms of the kinds of crimes that this woman is being accused of. So, yeah, I felt really bad for her. I was I was like in tears by the end of the sequence because just like, oh my god, like, and people were just like, well, she deserves worse. Like, she deserves it. I was like, no. I mean, the way that sequence is set, you're not supposed to think that by the end of that sequence. I don't think you're supposed to be like, oh my god, you're supposed to see her at her most human, and if you don't see her in that way, then I think you need to watch it again and kind of
like
see it from a different perspective, I think.
Like when they like chopped off all her hair and all of a sudden she was like, I dreamed a dream of times gone by.
Right, it was very Anne Hathaway, right? I was just like, oh my god, yeah, this is a musical number waiting to happen. But it was awful. It was
hard to watch. Did you guys know that wasn't actually Lena Headey?
I looked it up afterwards.
CGI, and it was very seamlessly done CGI. But I was like, that head does not look like it belongs to that body. You can notice some of the things around the neck.
My first clue, not that I have a fascination with boobies,
right?
I'm one of the few gay men who doesn't have that.
I know.
I noticed that her nipples looked different than they did in the new 300 movie.
Yeah.
And,
right.
I was like, wait a second, what? That looks a little weird. But I didn't realize it till later. Yeah,
it's very weird though. I can understand why she wouldn't want to do that whole sequence. They shot it for 3 days apparently.
Exactly. So, yeah. It took 3 days to shoot. She can't be naked for 3 days. She's too.
No.
Yeah.
Right.
If you have to be naked for 3 days in order to shoot, something's wrong.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Well, yeah. Well, I don't know. The body double did it, so if the body double can do it, why can't she do it? Well, but I get, you don't want to put yourself specifically.
Well, especially with so many extras and everything, or background actors, that would have been very inappropriate.
Right. And just the emotional weight of that scene. Can you imagine having to do that scene over and over again, and completely naked, and having to go what Cersei went through for 3 days in a row? I mean, that's rough stuff. So.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That was definitely kind of a crazy sequence. Steven, did you feel for Cersei at all? Like, did it make you feel bad for her?
I did a little bit, in the sense that it's funny. I went back and forth because part of me was like, you know what, she kind of deserves this for all the crap that she's pulled, and this is one of those things of she made her bed, now she's got to lie in it.
Right.
But it's the way the sequence ends. She actually makes it to the castle, and I was like, you guys are so stupid. You give her any bit of freedom, she is going to torch this place.
Right.
And she goes right into the arms of Undead Mountain. It's like, oh my god, this is going to be awesome. She's going to burn this place.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Perfect. But I thought it was so telling, though, that, like, she comes home and there's really no one there to comfort her. They're all her yes men. Like, not even her son is there to welcome her back.
Yeah.
It's just, it's like when you go through something rough, you want to be able to come home and have someone in your family comfort you. Jamie's not there. Nobody is there to comfort her, except for this giant dead guy who I don't know if he can do anything else. I don't know if he can comfort her in that way. But
the question I have for you, Casey, though, is sort of precursor to this episode. I remember the last time we talked, you said if they torch the princess, you're done. You made some pretty bold statements there.
Apparently that wasn't true because
I don't think there's ever been a show that has like so morally upset me that I have stopped watching it, because I think. I mean, I have moral lines, and TV shows generally don't cross those. There are certain things I won't watch in movies. But no, my moral outrage of that episode was kind of balanced out by the awesome dragon sequence at the end of it. And they were smart, because they knew if they'd placed Shireen's death at the end of that episode, then it would have completely put a whole damper on the whole episode.
Yeah.
Instead, they were like, well, let's save this by having some kick-ass dragon stuff. So.
Right. That end moment where Daenerys is like, Falcor!
exactly. It was very, it was very Sebastian and Atreyu on
Atreyu.
Exactly. It was great.
Well, look at it this way. At least Stannis kind of got his comeuppance.
Oh my God! It was such a swift fall. It was like we go right in, and it just like it just toppled down. The whole thing. I was just like, oh, okay, well, this is definitely going to go downhill, and it was over in like 15 minutes. I was just like, see, this is what happens, Mister.
Here's the conspiracy theorists that have gone about. There are so many off-screen deaths, which in TV language means they're probably still alive. Like, do you think Brienne actually killed Stannis?
Nope. I don't think that at all. I think she recognizes that, maybe Stannis is the only way to, like, free Winterfell and free Sansa, because she can't fucking do anything. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think she killed him. I could be wrong. We'll see in 9 months, 10 months.
Yeah. Because, I mean, they've shown every single beheading. Why wouldn't they show his beheading?
I mean, why didn't they show the whole battle budget? I mean, they wasted they had spent their whole budget on the White Walker sequence.
Yeah, but you could have done a cutaway to like a faraway shot and just seen a body slump over and something roll. Like there's ways you can do that cheaply.
And many ways they've done that cheaply in the past. I mean, we saw Ned Stark's head come off from a distance. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't a close up, so.
No, I mean, I think the producers liked having that nice little cut to Ramsay doing his thing. I don't know. I think that would be a total Days of Our Lives move if they did that.
But
I think that's ridiculous. I have more faith in the fan theory that Jon Snow is not dead.
Yeah. Well, that's another one.
Well, of course not.
Right.
Of course not. They've got a red priestess there who can bring people back from the dead. She arrived moments before he died.
Right.
I mean, that's kind of a no-brainer right there.
Right. Yeah. Someone's mentioned that.
Well, and he's supposedly, like, I've read too many comments now, and there's something that they alluded to, some god that's coming back, and it's going to inhabit Jon Snow or something like that. I don't know.
Well, I'm not sure about that, but I know the Red Woman was, she was thinking Stannis was this thing called Azor Ahai or something.
Yeah, Azor Ahai.
He was like the flaming sword-wielding like king who would unite the lands or something.
Right.
And that's why a couple seasons ago she like lit a sword on fire and told him to like pick it up. Right. You know what I mean? To like prove that whatever, blah 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 blah.
Right.
So I mean, obviously Jon Snow is like the hero of this whole show, right? I mean, that's pretty much what they want us to believe. Yeah, definitely. So I don't think he's dead. I don't think that's going to stick.
Yeah.
Well, if he's not dead, he's already got a record. He's not coming back next season. So if we see him, it'll be in the last season.
Well, wait a second. He's signed on for season 6 and 7 in his contract.
Well, that's the funny thing.
He and the showrunners just said in interviews he's not back next season.
He denied that. He said, "I don't know who leaked that. I don't have any contract." Yeah.
So
okay.
Yeah. And so if he comes back, it'll be in season 7 as some kind of Gandalf the White surprise or something. I guess. But yeah.
Jon Snow the White.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just like, yeah. Initially, I was kind of irritated at these fan theories because it was like, okay, the first stage of loss is denial. So like, okay, I get this grasping at straws, people, and you don't want to deal with your feelings. But then the more you read into it, and there's a lot of stuff that even I, missed about the different lineages of his potential parentage and stuff like that. So I can see it happening. I'm just, if he's, I don't really care one way or the other. I have other characters that I'm much more interested in following. Jon Snow's kind of doesn't really matter to me, but
yeah, I mean, I just feel like there aren't many morally straight characters left,
Right.
So it would be nice to have one or two that are alive in the show.
It's like what, him and Sansa basically?
Yeah.
And Daenerys.
And Sansa
Daenerys, I don't know. Daenerys is iffy.
I guess it's true though, given what he let happen to himself, I guess Jon Snow really did know nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, and then there has been, I agree with some the morning after, people doing write-ups of the show, they make a good point. It's like, well, Jon Snow was so busy like thinking about the big picture that he doesn't focus on the fact that you need to keep your men happy. Like, you need to illustrate to them why this is important. So just be like, listen, just go with it, okay? Like, I know what I'm doing.
Wow,
like,
Steven.
You need to keep your men
Winter
happy.
is coming.
Winter's coming.
Yeah, but so I mean, it's not, and he knew that these are the same people that killed the previous guy in charge. I'm just like, oh, Jon Snow, he really does know nothing. Yeah, Brad, you're right.
Here's my question. Okay, if fucking Ghost could show up and save Sam, where was Ghost this time?
Yeah. Well, people are saying that they're gonna warg or whatever, which I guess is Game of Thrones speak for morph. There's two, the wolf and or the ghost and he are supposed to morph into some kind of super being or something.
Well, I know because Bran wargs, and so he basically like puts his mind like in the wolf body or whatever and controls the wolf. But like you still have to protect his body. Like if his body dies, it happens. But
like that other guy, like the guy from Pirates of the Caribbean. I forget what that guy's name is.
Oh, I didn't see those movies, but.
He was the blonde guy that could. He was one of the wildlings that could do that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I forget what his name was, but
we'll have to see what happens. There's lots of these like deaths or fake deaths.
Like Sansa. I mean, was that a suicide jump, or was that, hey, there's a stack of hay down there, let's jump onto it?
I think it was like, hey, that snow must be pretty deep, right? Because winter's here, let's jump.
Right, that's exactly what it was. I mean, they gave us a shot of the snow with like a pitchfork or something, like, it's a big fucking snowbank, so they might break an arm or something, but jumping into that much snow, they're probably going to be okay.
Yeah.
For Miranda, though, that little death squeak.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
It was delicious.
Yeah.
I was like, finally, God.
I know.
This
You're useless. Get out of here.
Psychopathic bitch. I know. Jesus Christ. Yeah, well, that was the thing. It was good to see Reek do that, but honestly, like, I want to see Sansa do something. I want her to be like, okay, enough is enough, and like snap and go all.
Casey Scott, seriously? I mean, how fucking badass was she to put on a cloak and take a corkscrew and unlock the door and light a candle? I mean, she fucking lit that candle epically. Jeez,
yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, I like how it's this tiny little candle, but in the faraway shot, it lights up the whole room.
Right. Exactly. Oh my God. I mean, I like Sansa a lot. I've never been anti-Sansa, but at this point, it's like, okay, girl, you've been put through the ringer. We're reaching the end. You're gonna have to show, like, your mom was a total badass. Can we get some of that in there? Like, channel her a little bit, and if Arya can do it, I don't know why you can't do it. But Arya was always like that to begin with.
Yeah, she was a tomboy, and
Right. So speaking of Arya, right. So she's blind now, apparently.
Yeah. Well, Steven, tell us your thoughts on this whole Arya plotline.
Well, number one, her little lunge at that night guy was amazing. She takes a face off and jabs into his eyes. I mean, she epically destroyed that guy. But yeah, then she gets back and. I don't even know what happened. I'm so confused by that whole sequence. So basically, did the guy die, or was it the girl who died, or are there no girls and guys? It's just nameless faces, but then she takes all the faces off, she sees herself, and then she goes blind. But, what is in store for her then if she's blind?
Right.
She's going to have to atone to the many-faced God and truly become no one.
Right.
In order to atone, I'm sure. She's going to have to carry out 3 assassinations blind or something, you know what I mean?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. She has to be like Zatoichi now or something.
Do you? I wish they could accelerate her storyline a little bit. It's
I'm really tired of this. This whole kung fu thing is.
Yeah.
Oh
my God! How brutal was that murder scene though? Holy
oh my
shit!
God.
Yeah. It was.
It was also satisfying because it was like, okay, this is the Arya that I've wanted to see since last season. So it's
that we've been working up to.
Yeah, so she shouldn't have even gone back to the whole temple thing. She should have been like, you know what, fuck that. This is a waste of my time. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
I'm getting needle and getting the fuck out of here. But, nope, she went back.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's gone full psychopath, guys. Full psychopath.
She'll probably be in next season. She'll be sweeping for 3 episodes, blind or something like that.
God. Well, I think they took her eyesight because she took the eyes of the other guy. I think that was like a yin for yang kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it was kind of badass. And it was funny. Someone, I think it was either Time or Life, or I think it was Time, on their website, they were listing her list of people that were still she still needed to kill, and it's still a pretty large list.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, you got some escaping to do. You need to go get these people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's.
Boy.
I don't know. It's I kind of wanted. I don't know. I was hoping they'd be like, well, it wasn't sanctioned, but good job. Now you can have any face you want. Go kill everyone.
Have any face you want. Right.
Yeah.
Do you guys
license to kill?
Did you watch Funny or Die's Game of Thrones?
Yes, I did.
Not yet.
Okay. I don't want to.
No, go ahead. No,
sure?
go ahead. It's fine. Yeah.
So the scene where like Arya's like pulling off the faces. They make this funny joke that like it's a bad Michael Jackson black or white video. And they're playing the music behind it as she pulls each face back.
That was good.
It was really funny, but
the finale of Game of Thrones was slightly disappointing for me. Just I won't spoil it, but I was just like, there were things I expected that they've done every season that they didn't do in this one, so I was bummed. I'm trying to think of what was I gonna say?
Well, let's move on to also Jamie.
Jesus.
finally gets his daughter back.
Right.
And like is heading back home and has a father-daughter moment where he realizes the daughter knew he was the father.
Right.
And loves him anyway. It's like, oh, this is perfect. Oh wait, your nose is bleeding. Oh wait, you're dead.
Right. Exactly.
So she got kissed by that point.
Okay. I have major problems with this happening. Okay.
Yeah, this seems a little. Yeah, I was like, wait a minute. This is not going to not have consequences. What the fuck?
Right.
Yeah, I was just like.
Well, so consequences for sure. Okay.
Right.
But like Bronn knows about the poison.
Yes.
He was poisoned.
Right.
Don't you think he's gonna see Ilaria like kiss Marcella on the lips? Which, by the way, creepy as fuck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Don't you think he's gonna be like, Jamie, I think she just got poisoned.
Yeah, we should have an antidote with us.
I'm wondering if maybe Bronn has some antidote.
That's what I was wondering too, because you done again sort of a not on-screen death because Bronn took a while. Like he didn't die instantly. He took a while, and then she gave him the antidote. So I'm wondering if it's one of those things where he's gonna scream and be like, oh my god, and he comes down and maybe Bronn makes out with her and there's still antidote in his body or something like that.
I don't think so.
Or maybe Bad Pussy gave him a vial.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That was the worst line ever, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
You want the girl, you go with a good girl, but you need the bad pussy. I'm like, oh my god. I was like, oh girl. This is that's really bad. This is not Cinemax. Like, what are you? What is this crap?
Yeah.
No, but that's the funny thing. Like, I think it's interesting that you guys think that because these people like don't die on screen that they're not dead. Like, Game of Thrones doesn't really have a history of doing that.
Well, but
the thing is, oh my god, they're not dead. Wow, that's a shock. Like, they don't do that. Like,
but this episode, the way they did it was such a departure, though, Casey, from how they normally do it. They
usually show them dead on screen or burning the body or doing something so you have 100% finality. Almost everyone had 80% finality.
Right.
There was still room for some interpretation, which is just weird.
Think of it this way.
I never think that way.
Think of it this way. Think of last week's episode when Shireen was burned at the stake, right?
Right.
Now, what if instead of seeing like the fire coming up around her and she's fucking dying, what if they just show you like leading her to the pyre and lighting the pyre?
Right.
And we don't hear her screaming. We just show them like light it up.
Right.
Now she could die. But we don't know that if we don't see it happen on screen.
Somebody could swoop in and get her.
Except that the next episode.
Well, but
they showed her dying,
Right.
I'm just saying, like, this show has never shied away from showing us someone die before. If someone gets beheaded, we fucking see them get beheaded. You know what I mean? Like,
but just because they're doing something different doesn't mean they're going to pull 8 Days of Our Lives and they're going to come out of the like, oh my god, they're really not dead. Like, the show doesn't have a history of doing that. And I know George R. R. Martin would not want that.
No,
because that's ridiculous. I mean, when someone dies, they die on this show.
I agree, and I think if all of those almost deaths turned out to be not deaths in the first episode of next season,
I'd be done.
I think people would be really pissed. So
yeah, because that's not the show we sign on for, right?
But at the same time, I feel like it's one of those things where instead of it's going to be like 1 out of those 8 fake outs maybe is alive, and we just got to guess which one.
Or maybe a couple of them. I mean, they left us with like 6 different fake outs, right? And obviously some of them will stick, some may not. I mean, the only thing that's even come close to this before is we saw Arya leave the Hound up in the hills. He was bleeding and dying, but we didn't actually see him die. But otherwise, I mean, pretty much everyone else, we fucking seen the life leave their eyes. You know what I mean? So we'll have to see what happens. I almost get the sense that they're stalling for time, because the next book isn't done. It's not complete yet. They don't have the source material. I'm sure, George R. R. Martin has given them notes or whatnot, but to me, it almost seems like they're stalling for time a little bit.
But I wonder on that. I mean, I know it's one of those things where, I mean, George R. R. Martin might not, finish the book and right now, and they've got a TV production schedule. They can't keep people waiting forever. I'm wondering if this is their chance to sort of maybe get a few notes from him, but sort of go off in their own direction. They've already started that with the Sansa storyline, right? That wasn't ever in the books, from what I understand. So, maybe they're, the properties that do that all the time. Uh-oh, did we lose Casey?
We lost Casey. Oh, no.
Come back, Casey.
Come back.
But while we're waiting for him, but yeah, I mean, there's definitely other shows, that have taken source material, started down that path, and then gone off on their own because it's even Walking Dead is a perfect example. That started, and it every once in a while still pulls elements from the source material, but makes it its own because it doesn't. They don't want people to go like, oh, well, I know what's going to happen because I've read the books. Maybe they're going to finish it their own way. Which I would actually kind of appreciate a little bit.
Yeah, I would too, definitely. We just have to kind of see where they're going and what they're doing.
Yeah.
So
it's there's just too many. There were too many. It was at the same time. It's like I feel like it sounds like I'm frustrated with the way all these cliffhangers were playing out. I kind of loved it. Like Casey said in the beginning. It makes me, I can't wait for next season, and that's, I didn't, at the same time, there were all these cliffhangers. I did feel like a lot of stuff happened and I was satisfied with how a lot of stuff happened. So, there's a lot of good that came out of it. It's just, I can't wait. It's the best of both worlds.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens next season. I mean, 10 months is a long time to wait to see how all of this kind of resolves, right?
Yeah.
But at this point, I mean, I'm almost a little peeved with the show for doing things the way they did because typically, we have a couple big episodes leading up to the end, and then episode 10 is kind of the denouement, right? It's coming down and starting to deal with some of the fallout and setting us up for next season. And this time it's all, oh my God, what's going to happen next? Cliffhanger. And I don't know. I kind of like the normal way that Game of Thrones does that. I don't like so many question marks hanging in the air. Not just because, oh, now I have to wait 10 months to find out what happens, but it just seems like a departure from their style a little bit, the rhythm that they typically create. But it's weird. There's almost like a bit of a tonal shift now that the books are done. There's no new book to work from, and I'm wondering if they're having to make changes to their creative process to sort of take that into account. I don't know. The next book is supposed to come out by December, and their production schedule starts up again, and
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. So I imagine if book stuff is to come into play, then that's going to be helpful. Which is why I wondered if maybe they were kind of punting for now, you know what I mean, to see, because Jon Snow apparently dies at the end of this last book, right? And what happens with him, well, he ostensibly dies, but, that was 4 years ago when that book came out, so I don't know. See.
Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting. I mean, it's crazier and wilder, and again, I guess that's based on the source material, but it's definitely a different show than when it started. A very different show, and and we haven't even talked about a little bit about Daenerys. We mentioned her, but I mean, she flew off on the dragon, lands, and was just like, oh, I guess I'll go look for food or something like that, and then gets circled by Dothraki. Do we know if they're good Dothraki or bad Dothraki? Are they going to celebrate her being there, or are they going to try and kill her because, she was of a different...
So I know that Casey has dropped out, and hopefully he'll pop back in here soon. But because I know time is a factor for you, Stephen, let's just go ahead and kind of continue the discussion, and let's talk about that Daenerys scene, right? So starts off, she and Drogon have landed. Casey, welcome back.
There's Casey, just in time.
Just in time. Just in time.
There he is.
Ta-da! He's back.
Yes, I'm sorry. My laptop overheated and shut down on me.
Oh. No, that's no bueno.
No, I'm so sorry.
Did you have it on your lap and you were just too hot for it?
Yeah, that's no. Let's go with that.
Well, Casey, we're just getting to the point where we're talking about Daenerys and Drogon, like they're at this nest that apparently Drogon has made for himself.
Right.
Apparently, he's flown all the way back to Dothraki land, right?
Yeah, which is weird. Yeah.
Yeah. So we finally get everyone together, right? Tyrion's there. Varys has popped back up. Sure, everyone's together. Scooby-Doo and the gang, and now she's gone.
Yeah, and it's funny because they're all kind of left, kind of like twiddling their thumbs, like, well, our common denominator isn't here, so now what do we do?
Now what do we do?
Yeah,
right. So Dany is like, impatient. She goes walking by herself, which, by the way, fucking stupid. Are you crazy, Daenerys Stormborn?
No weapons, no nothing. Right.
Ridiculous. You know what I mean? And what happens? A fucking Dothraki horde shows up.
Right.
Obviously, they know who she is because they don't just like kill her on sight. You know what I mean? They're circling around her. Right. So I'm wondering if this is like the remnants of Khal Drogo's Khalasar that like abandoned her. You know what I mean? I wonder if they've heard that she's become this great queen and marine, and now they're flocking back to her.
I do think that the size of that group is like fairly ridiculous.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
It was like, you know what? Okay, let's ease up on the CGI guys on horses, like all the way back on the background. Can we just make it like, I don't know, 20 or 30 instead of like 350?
Yeah, because wouldn't she have seen them when they were flying over?
Yeah, I'm like, where the hell did they come from? Yeah, exactly.
You think so?
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, for an army that large, they'd have fucking camps. They'd have fires burning. She would have saw the smoke when they're flying in.
But also they're coming from all directions. It's like, how do they communicate? Do they have walkie-talkies? And they're like, hey, there's a little girl over there. Let's go attack them.
Yes, they invented walkie-talkies specifically.
Yeah, they totally did. Yeah. They run off of like Dothraki hair and.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, exactly.
Oh goodness.
Bronzer.
So I have a question for you guys. So Dany has left. I'm a little confused about something. So is Tyrion ruling in her stead with the other guys like advising him, or is it Missandei and Grey Worm ruling and he's advising them? Because that wasn't totally clear to me.
I saw it as Tyrion ruling, but he is going to be a silent ruler because nobody will trust him. So Grey Worm and the lady will be the voice, but he will be giving the direction.
Right.
Okay, but like, is he going to be sitting on the throne as people come in, or will they be up there? But he's the power, like behind them in the ship.
I think they'll be up there.
I think they'll be up there, and also Tyrion doesn't speak the language well enough to kind of field any.
Well, that's what I thought. So Missandei and Grey Worm are going to be like the pseudo king and queen of Marine.
Yeah,
that's
what I'm getting. Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh, it's cute. Yeah. Right.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. So. Fucking A. So next season, right? So Dario Naharis and Ser Jorah are off in search of Dany.
Right.
You think it's going to take them all fucking season to like catch back up with Dany?
I hope not, because honestly, next season's supposed to be the second to last season, so it needs to open with them finding her. Like, you know, we need to. I want a time jump. I want a Mad Men style time jump where it's a month ahead. I want stuff.
I think they're setting them up for a sort of a buddy cop spin-off show.
Oh God. No. Especially because I don't want to spend time with those characters on the road. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, you know.
So it'll take a whole season for them to catch up with Dany, and then another whole season to get back to Marine.
And by that time, he'll have the grayscale or whatever, the dragon scale.
Right. Well, I don't think he's going to last halfway through next season, to tell you the truth. But that's just me.
Our poor Bear Knight.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Oh, the Bear Knight. Oh, yeah.
Well, he really is the Bear Knight. His house is.
I was going to say. I was like, well, I guess by a very loose definition, I get it.
He has a hairy chest.
I haven't seen it. I don't remember at all.
Yeah. Okay. He's also worn some of these like low cut like V-neck lace shirts and chest hairs like popping out.
I totally don't remember any.
I noticed these things. I totally noticed these things.
See, I don't notice these things. I just noticed that like that what's his face Sam isn't half bad looking. And after you see him in a certain way.
Yeah.
Did you guys like that Sam finally got some?
Yeah.
Yes, I did, and it was surprisingly hot. Yeah, I was just like, oh, this is the best way too, because then he doesn't have to worry about like being awkward and smushing her.
But I'm like, really, Sam? You're hot, dude. Like, take off some clothes. It's okay. We don't mind.
No, he apparently said there was a Comic-Con thing, and he was like, no, you don't want to see me without clothes on. And there was not enough of a Bear contingent to like cheer to support him taking his clothes off. It was all like straight dudes and gamer chicks who were not going to be like, yeah, take your clothes off. Yeah, we need to be there. We need to be there and with deafening applause say.
We're all about like chub body positivity. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
It's okay. It's okay.
I'd even go for seeing some Podrick dick. I mean, he's supposed to.
He's
supposed to be super hung. Why are we not seeing that? Give us some of that.
Speaking of dick, we got plenty of dick in the Cersei scene.
That's true. It wasn't pretty dick, but at least it was at least some counterpoint to all the booby.
Right. I was kind of surprised to see that one guy like waggling around, and it was like flopping around in a circle.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Are you saying he was helicoptering?
He was helicoptering.
Oh, speaking of hot guys, Littlefinger has vanished. Where's Littlefinger?
Yeah.
You think Littlefinger is hot, Casey?
I think he's super hot.
Yeah.
He's pretty cute.
He is cute.
And he has that Irish accent. Yeah, he's super hot.
He's gone. He probably like read
Marjorie's grandmother.
He probably saw what was coming and like normal got ahead of it. You know what I mean? Look at it this way. So Cersei did her walk of shame, okay? Right. But there's still a trial coming.
Yeah, God.
He's basically letting her out on bail. You know what I'm saying? So
I don't think there's going to be a trial. I think she's going to lay waste to that area.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she's gonna try and get, what's her name back? Marjorie and her brother back. I think my guess, well, this is what I'd want to happen, I think, is that she kind of felt guilty and is like realized that she created a monster, and now she's literally with the monster she created. But she's gonna sort of break him out and be like, you guys are on my team and we gotta kill all the sparrows.
Right. I don't know. I really don't know. Cersei. That's why I really like Cersei. She's kind of unpredictable.
Yeah.
You really never know. I mean, and I don't know. I'm tired of having to defend my love of Cersei. I mean, it's like, hello, people. She's the Alexis Carrington of Game of Thrones. Like, you're supposed to hate her, but you're not supposed to hate her so much that you want to see her, like, torn apart, like you want Ramsay to be torn apart.
Yeah.
She's not as bad as Ramsay. She's more politically savvy than that. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, "Where's my little finger?" He didn't even run. He didn't even run back to Sansa. I was like, "Where are you?"
Yeah.
Irish guy, where'd you run to?
Yeah, we got some more of what's his name, the bald guy with Tyrion.
Varys.
Oh,
Varys.
the eunuch. Yeah.
Old Varys.
Old Varys. Yeah, they got back together, and it reminded me of like a senior citizen gay couple getting back together. Like, oh yeah, I can't go anywhere without you. Oh, we're old friends back together again. I was like, oh my god. It was like Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart. So they were all,
and then like the Laverne and Shirley theme starts up, and Tyrion throws a hat.
Game of Thrones did that when they did it. They were talking about Podrick and Brienne going off together, and they made it. And they dubbed over laughter in the Laverne and Shirley theme. Like,
oh, really?
Because their whole misadventure is basically like a sitcom. It's just like Podrick being stupid and Brienne like double taking and everything. so it's like, hey, listen, Podrick's great. You leave him alone.
Yeah.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah. Well, I don't know where things are.
Maybe I lost. You might have continued talking about this without me, but the thing that kind of got me about the Jaime thing with the poison, I was like, that ship isn't that far off. They can just turn right back around and like turn this ship around and go get her. And I was like, bitch, you're in trouble unless you go poison the guy in the wheelchair. Like that's why I thought they were gonna cut back and the guy was gonna be dead. And
that ship was so close. All Jaime has to do is like look over the bow and be like, guys.
Yeah, just a light yelling. Right, exactly. So I saw that and I was just like, seriously, like, it should have been more time delayed. It should have been like, I don't know, a 24-hour thing instead of a 10-minute thing.
I was confused about that too because it took like
a
4 or 5
whole
hours
day.
or something for Bronn to start. Like. I'm kind of. My guess is it's because she coated her lips very heavily or something for a super strong dose. But what's the wisdom in that? Like, they're just gonna turn around and come kill you. So
exactly. And they're even like, well, they're gonna go back, and I guess this part of the story's over. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, I'll just turn the skiff around, and they're gonna kill your ass. Exactly. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah, and Cersei's not going to be happy. Now she's got only one living son, one living child.
Yeah.
How long will he still be alive?
Exactly. Yeah. Well, yeah, especially because if this trial goes on.
Yep.
They're not going to let him be king, and he might end up killed too because of the outrage over the whole thing.
And let's not forget the prophecy from the first episode of this season about all 3 of her children dying.
Right.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So Tim Tom, whenever, is gonna die. Yeah.
Yep.
Tommen.
Yep.
Yeah. At least he was able to get his dick wet first. That's a good thing.
Oh, right. I don't want to.
I know. That was one of my favorite things, actually, of the entire season, was Marjorie telling, in so many words, telling Cersei, like, oh, God, you raised, like, this little, like, sex hellion. Oh, my God, it keeps me up all night. And it's just like, who tells their mother-in-law the details of your wedding night and all this stuff? It's like, oh, he's insatiable. Oh, I can't wait. We're going to keep doing it forever. It was just like, oh, my God, no wonder
she's just rubbing it in, yeah.
I know. I was like, she doesn't want to know about you, popping your son's cherry.
I had a boyfriend who said something similar to my mother.
What? Oh my God.
Yeah, it was my first like super serious boyfriend, and
oh God, that's even worse. Oh no.
And he made a comment like that to my mom, and he was more just joking, I think. You know what I mean? But
still,
I'm like, time and a place. This is not the time of the place.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he was like, your son's a sex machine.
Oh my god.
Oh my lord.
And I'm like, oh Jesus.
Yeah. That's something your parents just don't need to hear.
You're really lucky that your parents didn't get behind the religious right and have you guys imprisoned, like they did to Marjorie and her brother. You know what? If you're gonna call my son a sex machine, you're in trouble. Oh my god.
Gosh. Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, any final thoughts on Game of Thrones before we move on to some pluggage?
Can't wait for next season. That's it.
I know. God, it's really frustrating. It's only 10 episodes. It should be at least 13. Everything else is 13.
I know.
Yeah. It's a bummer.
But I mean, they were 10 really good episodes. I would say it got better as the season went along. It started off a little slow, Absolutely. But I mean, they definitely ramped it up.
Right. And there are some storylines that are stronger than others, but that's the same. It's been that way for every season. So, yeah.
Indeed. Well. I think that brings us to plugs then, as we look to wrap.
I do have a question. Do you know, we're supposed to be seeing Bran and co. next season, right? They're bringing them back.
Yeah, they'll be back next season.
All right. Because, it did feel a little weird to not have the other Stark child in there.
Yeah.
And actually, I would have rather seen them and seen any of the other stuff they were doing than this whole... this whole Jaime's quest to bring his daughter back thing, which just dragged on forever. And the payoff wasn't amazing, but whatever.
Yeah. We'll have Hodor and co. back next season, so
Hodor.
We'll see how things go.
Hodor.
Yeah. All right, Steven, what have you got this week for your plug?
I think what I will plug is. I have been a fan of the show So You Think You Can Dance for a couple of years now. I didn't start from the beginning, but it's one of those competition shows that somehow, I don't like American Idol, I don't like The Voice, I don't like a lot of even Dancing with the Stars, I can't stand it. But there's something about So You Think You Can Dance and the way they produce it that always brings me to tears half the time with the dances. I mean, the way most of these contestants dance has so much emotion in it, and it's really moving, most of it. And so I think it's one of those competition shows that's worth checking out. And I usually also find some really good music. They use really interesting music pieces, and usually at least once a season I'll find some song I'm like, I've never heard of that, and I love it. So that just started up recently. It's in the the tryouts phase or whatever. And another interesting thing about this show is for a while now they've said, we don't want to give airtime to the crazies or the people that are bad. We don't want to highlight, make fun of anyone. So basically all the tryouts, the only people you see are people who got something else or something, but I always find it really interesting, a very positive and uplifting show.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Good stuff. Awesome.
I haven't watched that show in a long time, but it's usually really, really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely one of the better ones.
Yeah.
Sweet. How about you, Casey? What do you got?
I finally caught up on the new season of Community on Yahoo. Which I really liked. I didn't love it. The show hasn't really been amazing since season 3, when all the original players were involved. But it's still really good. Paget Brewster joins the cast, and she's really fun. Yeah, there were a lot of really good episodes. They weren't all, slam dunks. It also ends on a much better note than last season on NBC did. I could see this being a good series finale, but they want to do a movie.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so so Community on Yahoo, I would definitely recommend.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. My plug for this week is actually not a TV show that you should check out. It's a link. I'll put it in the show notes, and it is it's 18 really stupid but equally brilliant Rick Grimes jokes.
What?
All right.
And they're basically just meme pictures and jokes. I'm gonna pop the link in our chat. You guys can click on it.
Oh, good.
And, look at the first one. But one of my favorites is actually the very first one. So Rick is like, I changed my iPod's name to the Titanic, and Carl's like, Dad, stop. And he's like, it's sinking, Carl. It's sinking, Carl. Anyway,
I have seen these. I love these, really.
They're really fucking dumb, but one of them had me gut laughing for 5 minutes last night.
Oh my god!
The one about Rick selling his shoes to a drug dealer, and I'll let you guys look at that one on your own. But yeah, it was good stuff.
I love that. I love that it always says Coral.
Yeah, Coral, not Carl.
Yeah, because everyone pronounces Carl. Coral. Yeah, right.
Coral.
Right.
Anyway, all right. Well, guys, thank you so much for an awesome Game of Thrones discussion.
Yeah.
I'm going to be so sad to not talk about Game of Thrones.
I know. No. We've got so many great shows starting up again.
Yeah.
I know.
There's a lot of good stuff coming on. So.
Definitely. So join us next time for Orange is the New Black and True Detective. But for now, we are out. Goodbye, everyone. Take care.
All right, guys. Watch TV.
Enjoy TV.
Enjoy
TV.
Hey, I don't necessarily want you to enjoy TV this week. Just watch it.
Oh, okay.
I see.
Don't enjoy it.
Some weeks are for enjoying, some weeks are for watching. Right?
Oh, my goodness, Sally Draper.